Welcome back, everyone. Just a quick reminder to please take a moment and check out the Content Hub, where you can find additional resources from our event partners. And now I am delighted to introduce our next session, doing an executive interview with Nataliya Andreychuk, who is the CEO at Viseven. So welcome, Nataliya.
Hello to everyone. Hello, Stephanie. Great to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, and thank you so much for joining us. So tell us about yourself. Like, how did you get into pharma marketing?
That's the interesting question. Indeed, I love this story. I would say I need to tell through hard working and the right partnership, I arrived in this place. Because, like the story of every agency is very specific. So we have been very young with my business partners and they're enthusiastic to
Mm-hmm.
develop actually mobile applications for pharma. So then we have arrived to a CLM world, then we understood how impactful the content might be. And
Yeah.
there we are. Right now, we are developing a lot of content and we are working with the best marketeers in the world.
Oh, it's a great story. And thank you for sharing that. And I think, also what's interesting is as a woman in tech and in pharma, like, have you encountered any obstacles along the way? Like, and how important is gender equity to your business?
Obstacle for women in 2022. That's a strange question. Thank you very much again.
I wish it wasn't. I wish it wasn't still an issue, but it is.
First of all, I need to have to say it like we have more than 40% of
Oh,
people
wow.
in Viseven female. So that's around 45 to 46% of our staff are women. So that's already no issue because they are occupying like managerial
Hmm.
positions. So that means we have created the process and the infrastructure allowing to keep all the things which in the past were like I think it is not fair but still driving female back in the business, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
like maternity leaves, like childhood and other stuff. So we created the programs which allowing our people to be back to work early. We support them with their, career growth, with the education. We are all the time doing step forward if there is a female leader in the company, and that's really
Yeah.
was a personal learning because if somebody does this for me, so that really would be helpful. But 10, 15 years ago, it was totally
Yep.
non-female world. Yeah.
Yep.
And the competition was very high. So again, the answer is for the very hard working and very right partnership.
Yeah, the infrastructure part is so important that I think it's something that people tend to forget that you have to build that infrastructure to build the gender equity. So those are great statistics.
Yeah,
Um, you
yeah.
know, I, I think the other thing too, and we know COVID certainly has made a huge impact on the industry. How did it change your company's approaches?
It changed us greatly.
Mm,
So it did us a lot of favors. First of all,
yeah.
we were very connected, to this office style before the COVID, from 8 to 6 or 9 to 6. We were all sitting in the office like tight to our seats. There was no go, even the IT organization. After the COVID strike, what we have learned, so you can shut the office closed and you can
Mhm.
go and business will never stop. So everything in the cloud, everything
Right.
remote, like people understood that life exists outside the office door. Like they can work everywhere. It's really
Yep.
the freedom of the profession because being IT specialist, you literally can work everywhere. Whatever
Hmm.
you need has to be in cloud, like
Yeah.
accessible with the secured access granted by the company. But you are a free person, you are a person of the world or world, right? And today, being Ukrainian, Like
Right.
with our situation, like there is a war and everything is very dramatic in our
Yeah.
country. We realized like relocating our people within the COVID and other circumstances is not really a challenge. So
Yeah.
our people today across the Europe, they are traveling, they are defending their country, they are working from different countries. And what challenges we have the time zones. So we don't have the
Oh,
office
yeah.
challenges right now, the time zones. And I would say all this COVID and difficult situation made us very strong, actually, very strong,
Yeah, the
flexible.
ability to adapt, right? Like to be
Yes,
flexible and adapt and to learn from
yes,
that is really critical to, I think, a success of a business. So, but it's great that you're
exactly,
able to do that. What do
exactly.
you say? Like, let's kind of shift gears just a little bit. Like, what would you say is on the top of the list this year when it comes to digital marketing trends?
Of course, it is omnichannel.
Mm,
As you know, today we have we need to rethink our strategy, because instead of being only revenue driven, the world of pharma and the world of us patients has shifted to be value driven. So,
hmm
and being value driven, we have to take a great deal of effort to deliver our messages across the continents and break out through the noise. And that means we are going through every specific channel which is able to be heard by certain type of people, right, our patients. Like this is the significant change for pharma, because we were talking like last 15 years for about beyond the pill concept, about
Yep.
the patient centricity. And now we are living in a very interesting time when this actually concept started to be realized in the real life. Like, and
hmm
with the omni channel, which is different than the multi channel before, where we have, like not many people understand the change actually, right? Where we have these messages and the content integrated and really being heard across the channels. This significant change means we will understand more people, more patients will be able to influence better on the healthcare. People will be rolled out into the trials faster. They will be much more knowledgeable as a result, because they will understand.
hmm
Like today, the healthcare is also different, because every patient is aware a lot about the
Yeah.
problem and has
Yeah.
an access to different source of the information, which is making this powerful patient be also the influencer. And pharma needs to understand this patient, this influential
hmm
patient, and make sure our message is not commercial, it's valuable, and it's breaking through the noise and
hmm
going directly to target people, just to make sure they are in time to get the right treatment, to be heard, and to receive this information. So omni-channel is the key. Then obviously it brings us in pharma into significant changes, because it's not
hmm
very easy to create that amount of content. Then we will be able to go through every particular channel
Right.
and to really communicate
hmm
to every segment of our target audience, right? Because there's an enormous amount of content. That means technically we are also living in a very interesting time, because we are trying going from the classical way of how we used to create the content, is like
Right.
pure development, to other like no code, low code approach, where we are trying to
Mm.
go and to break the content in chunks and reuse it as much as possible, then to trace and to see the impact, to see the insight. And it is not only the business impact, we can't really measure directly this business impact
Mhm.
without
Yeah.
measuring the value which we provided with this content. Means awareness, means feedback from the audience, and other significant interactions. It's a very interesting time.
No, it's definitely an interesting time and has definitely fundamentally changed from the approach of, multi-channel to omni-channel. I
Exactly.
also wonder, like how crucial is it in HCP engagement, omni-channel marketing, and what do industry professionals need to know about it now?
I think I think they what they need to know is like they don't need to think about that. The biggest
Mhm.
change, the biggest change, must be shown. Like they have to receive their bigger free time to treat the patients,
Yeah.
because this old school paradigm when the sales rep or commercial rep or medical rep is waiting somewhere for take a 30 minutes of your time, of your lifetime, which will be never back to you, just in vain. Because you'd never know if this person is to bring you a value, but this is a real person. You can't
Right.
take him outside the door immediately, right?
Hmm.
You will spend your
Yeah.
30 minutes of your lifetime maybe in vain.
Right.
And this is omni-channel. That means a choice. So
Oh, yeah.
breaking
That's a
through
great
that, they
point.
will choose. They will choose what they want to listen, whom they trust. Is this
Mm,
information trustworthy, validated by the trusted authorities? If this information has the right evidence, and this means the channels are to be connected, you can understand that bringing just the information into the world like that will not work. Why?
mhm.
Because it will be no trust. It will be not trusted. So HCP
Right.
will immediately feel that they will receive their time back.
I love that, the concept of trust and the choice, right? I've never quite heard it phrased that way, but I think that's a great point, right?
Thank you.
Um, I know, like it's interesting. So where do you kind of see the industry going kind of over the next 5 years?
It's a beautiful question, because there are many ways how industry will be transformed. Is from the technology perspective,
Mhm.
you can see with the artificial intelligence, with the machine learning, with the algorithmic reading of our work and processed by the machines. That means that a lot of manual work, means
Right.
also in trials and in laboratories where the most time is used and spent, this time will be shortened due to the new technology.
Yeah.
And that means like people will be able to bring more value in the faster time as a result. But the interaction between the patient, the
Mhm.
HCP caregivers, and the pharma will be different, because you can see already how much these
Yeah.
companies like Amazon,
Mhm.
Alibaba, Microsoft, even
Yeah.
they are stepping into the
Mhm.
ground of pharma and
Yep.
trying to provide their own services and their own products over there. And you can understand that this technological impact will impact our life even more than today. So, in fact, I don't like very much what will happen afterwards, because we will be having only illusion of our own decisions, right? But the
True.
process, but the process which we are following today, everyone from our side will be enjoying enormously, I think, because this transformation is a very great journey where we are starting to know our own mind, and we are trying to teach machines to make
Right.
the right choice and suggestions. So the process is very enjoyable. The result, as the result, how the people of future will be living, I really hope that we, in the future, we as people will have more important things to spend our time on, because we will be absolutely not spending a lot of time on the normal things which we are doing
Right.
today, spending our time, right?
Well, let's hope so. Well, we are unfortunately out of time, but this has been a fabulous conversation. So thank you to Nataliya and to Viseven, and we look forward to seeing you at our next session.